All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to These Girls Refuse to Accept the Truth About Dating. Champagne.
When it comes to getting into a relationship, we all agree
Yep, we are.
that a man should stop pursuing women, right?
Yes.
Men should stop pursuing women. It would be cheating, right? If you were in a relationship with a guy and he went up to a girl, he approached a girl, took the initiative, and flirted with her, right? Okay. Do women do that? No. What do women do? Women put themselves in positions to be pursued. They put them in positions to be approached. You won't slide into a guy's DM, but you'll post a revealing photo or post something on social media.
What? No, we
Hold
slide
on.
into people's DMs.
Oh my, okay. Do I have to address the constant exception thing? Do women slide into men's DMs? Yes, they do. Do you do it at the same how many DMs do you get per day?
Me?
Yes.
Not a lot.
Even as a OF content creator, you don't get.
Yeah, no, not like
How
DMs.
many-
People react to my stories.
Okay, how many DMs do you get? 1 per day? 2 per day? 3 per day?
Yeah, 2 per day.
2 per day. Okay. And you've been on social media how long? You're 23? 2 per day. Okay, so there's you've had like would you say you've had like 2,000 men DM you then?
Yep. Not
You said 2 per
Insta.
day.
Yeah.
2 per day. There's 365 days in a year. In just 1 year, that's over 7.
But some of them are the same, like just
720.
double, triple
Oh, that's not what I'm-
texting.
700. No.
individual DMs.
Yeah, but not,
that's 740 DM. Supposedly, I don't know. Supposedly.
not that often.
Okay, what?
Right,
Then what? How
no,
many
720,
individual
I
men DM you?
Like
Per week.
three a week.
3 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a given year, that's over 150 men who have contacted you, offering you a romantic or sexual relationship, essentially. How many men per year do you DM?
I DM a lot.
Okay, how many?
Me?
Yeah, is it 150 a year?
More.
And do you really? And do they, how many respond?
Not all of them. Yeah.
All right, whatever.
She's unique, though.
Okay.
We will say. That's not.
So
like, you're trying to
people
make the
just
point
wanna
on the wrong
love
person.
an exception. I hate these exception arguments. It's such a waste of time. It just totally, every time these.
Yeah, that's what happened. But the problem is, Brian, that you entertained it, and now you were caught up in a circular argument. Now you entertained the argument, so now you're there. You should have just kept going. Like what? Like we're not gonna argue in exceptions. See, now this is very played for her. She played it very nice. Put an exception. He acknowledged the exception. Tried to argue against exception. You wasted time. It's like a rebuttal. When people say not interested, it's just a smoke screen. You have to go beyond that. Hey, this was literally the no interested. We're not interested, and he just got caught out in that first obstacle.
exception. Oh, there's an exception. It totally derails the entire conversation.
Yeah,
People can't even grant the general point that's just widely known. Women do not initiate when it comes to romantic relationships to the same degree or same frequency that men do. So, like I said, what do women do? You don't slide into men's DMs, right? You post a photo and then you try to elicit contact from men. When it comes to modern dating, we have a clear cutoff on men saying it's cheating for you to use the methods in which you get women. We say if you go approach a man, and it applies to women too, for example. If a woman were to approach a man, that'd be cheating too. The problem is that women don't do it. We're only cutting off men's system for getting women, but we don't cut off women's systems for getting men.
Ah, interesting. Good point.
And so the fair proposition would be,
Good point.
men need to stop approaching women, and you women need to stop putting yourselves in scenarios and locations and positions where you can anticipate and where women would put themselves with an expectation they get approached. This isn't to say you can't go to the grocery store, even though men approach you at the grocery store. It's not what we're saying. But when it comes to very specific social gatherings and social venues, bars, clubs, parties, where the expectation is going to be that you're going to be approached and people are drinking, there's alcohol involved, there's drugs involved, people will hook up at these venues, they'll after these venues. If you go to Trader Joe's, you're not getting finger banged in the bathroom after 10 minutes of talking to some dude at Trader Joe's.
Damn.
I've been to bars, I've been to parties, I've been to clubs.
I can agree with that.
I've seen some go down. People be fucking in the middle of the party sometimes.
I take a slightly different approach here. So while I'm known for kind of giving logical arguments, and this will be one as well, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to try to make some emotional appeals, and perhaps it'll be a bit more effective.
Sure.
So do any of you girls who are here have any irrational fears? Are you afraid of things like a irrational fear of spiders, perhaps? Anybody?
Small
Yes.
space.
Yeah, small space. Any other irrational fears?
Heights.
Heights, yeah, that's an irrational fear. And perhaps you have bad dreams occasionally that give you bad intuitions that are kind of irrational as well. That happens often to women, right? I can see some nodding heads. Well, what if you were to kind of suppose this also? I think that often men are kind of left high and dry on this because we're often kind of looked at as being extremely rational, logical, and I think men are. But they also have irrational fears. And what if it's not a matter that they don't trust you, but it's a matter that they have an irrational fear? That the fear itself perhaps is not a rational one, that you're going to go out and sleep with another guy if you go to a nightclub or something like this, but rather they don't want to have to worry themselves to death with irrational fears, just like with all the irrational fears that you expect them to kind of take care of on your behalf, that you don't want to be tortured with. You want to be comforted so that you don't have to deal with them. And you would consider that to be a matter of respect. Like, let's say if you had a terrible dream or something like that with a bad intuition, perhaps you just want to be comforted, just like have a hug, right? Have them acknowledge that, hey, even though that fear is kind of silly, don't worry about it, honey. I still love you and it's no big deal, right? Wouldn't it be the same thing on the other foot? Like, couldn't we grant a little grace towards the irrational fear that men could have when it comes to something like that? Doesn't that make sense?
Interesting.
Yeah, I
That
think
the fear
men are
is there.
very
Maybe
valid
it's
for
not
that.
completely rational, but just like you want to be comforted and respected for your irrational fears, don't they also deserve that?
Well, I don't think at that point it would even be irrational because, you see stuff happen all the time, to girls.
Well, I'm not saying that. I think even irrational fears are based in something of a reality, right? Why are
Yeah.
you so afraid of a confined space, for instance? Well, because you envision perhaps getting stuck in it. Or why are you so terrified of heights? Well, because perhaps you envision falling from a great height and that terrifies you. So that's based in a reality. It's just the fear itself is irrational, right? But all those fears are still based in some kind of reality. So because you have these experiences like Brian's talking about in bars where there's a lot of drinking, perhaps you've seen some fights or seen some weird things go down, the chance of that happening with your woman may be very, very, very small. So therefore the fear could be very irrational. But shouldn't there be a little grace granted and a little respect granted to them for also their irrational fears, not just your own?
Yes. So if you were more of an extrovert and you did like going out, but you didn't want your lady to go out, would you honor what she's saying and say, okay, I won't either? Because men go to the club to hook up with women. Women might go to enjoy attention.
Exactly. Guys go to the club to hook up with women. Why are you going to a place where men want to hook up with you? But then no, it's interesting. It's like saying, why going to the volcano knowing that there's lava? Because I just want to hang out in the volcano. Why? It's dangerous. Why would you even go to a place that, based on you guys' explanation, you guys prefer a bear rather than the man? Why being in a place that it will be more dangerous than a bear in a Compile space. Compile space, baby. That's how you say it. Like a small space. Yeah? Well, like a space that's, close, I would say, right? It's not a lot. What? It's probably what? 10 square feet? 10,000 square feet? Like, why would you be in a space like that? If a man is more dangerous than a bear? It's only to dance. Incredible.
Or this or that, but men goes usually specifically because they want to try to engage with women or hook up with women. Like, I could say a bar is different. Guy friends go to a bar, hang out, watch sports, whatever. But clubs specifically, I think men only go with one intention, and it is to try to pursue women to the point of sleeping with them.
Sure. So if you had a man, well, I don't know if you do or not. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just a hypothetical. If you had a boyfriend, husband, whatever, and he wanted to go out to a club, right? And he said, "Honey, you don't trust me," right? You would say, "Yeah, I trust you, but," right? Because you have this fear, right?
Right.
And the fear might not even be rational, completely rational, but wouldn't it be very respectful of him to respect your wishes in that instance and say, "You're right. I'm going to stay home." Why torture your mind with this irrational fear that you have when I can just help you avoid it altogether?
Yeah, for sure. I was just wondering if Brian agreed. Like,
so hang on. So if that happens in reverse then with women, where men say, "I don't want you to go out to a club. I don't want you to go out to these bars. I don't want you." Isn't that also kind of a matter of respect then, that you don't do that on his behalf?
Correct. Yeah, I was agreeing. Yeah. I was just curious what his ultimate answer was. If his lady said, I don't want either of us to go out to the club, would he respect that? Or is he saying, as the man in the relationship, he's going to say, I don't want you doing this, but I'll decide when and where and how I'll do this. I was just curious if what she was saying.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? And let me just give the argument for this. Why not? You guys are attracted to a leader. You guys are attracted to a protector. You guys are attracted to alpha 1%ers. These people will tell you what to do, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, he will kick you. He will kick you out of the curve. But why not? See, if you follow her advice, think about this, folks. If you follow her advice, I can guarantee you that relationship will go downhill. It will go downhill. Why is that? Well, because when you listen to her, you're basically emasculating yourself, and she's the leader of the relationship, guys. She becomes the leader of the relationship. So when she becomes the leader of the relationship, she starts building what? Resentment. That's why, as a guy, you tell your woman what to do. You tell your woman where to go. You tell your woman what is the expectation. See, she want to be difficult because she want to be competitive with the guy that she really likes. And most importantly, they will become the guy they like. Because the guy that they like, the guys that they like, they're literally the most demanding people. And most importantly, you're not in their program. They just move on to the next one. So all of this is just coping. This is just pure cope.
He would do that in a relationship.
Yeah, so even just to answer your question really quick, even if I was extroverted, I don't think any of my actual rational objections to going out to a nightclub change whatsoever. So like all those stupid things that come with nightlife don't change whether you're introverted or extroverted. There's probably extroverted people who also think nightclubs and parties and bars are dumb as fuck. But
super.
In a relationship,
if you were more inclined, like say you do enjoy going to the nightclub, whatever, and she's like, well, if I can't go, I don't want you to go either. Would you?
I think it's fair. Well, okay, like the situation would either be if I did like to go out to the club, it would probably be if I'm putting myself in the position. And she is the scenario she's asking.
Yeah, this is Brian. I had to say this, guy. This is Brian. You notice Brian's body language is very comfortable. You guys notice that? When he's not simping, he has a very good body language, by the way. Very good body language. Lean back a little bit. Very serious, very stoic. Right? he has a very natural body language, right? But always when there's a female that he probably lean into it, that's when the simping starts. But right now he has a very good body language. He's composed, not laughing, not showing emotions. Only when the girl brought the exceptions to stuff. But I think in that case he had to just bring back his, had to look his not look but search himself. Make sure he go back to base. But right now his body language is spot on, guys.
Me to not go out and she's not going to go out, or
Well, she basically said
she
like
wants to go out.
you both should honor the same practices. Essentially.
Egalitarianism.
And if you don't want her to go out, then you shouldn't be able to go out.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. See, nah. She's not gonna respect you because again, you don't want that. See, as a guy, you don't want that, but you have to follow her because you don't want to make her. You don't want to make her mad. It should not be like that, guys.
I guess.
But isn't that revenge?
I guess.
There we go.
That,
There we go. Andrew knows.
isn't that revenge against a fear that one person has and the other one doesn't?
I thought it's respect.
Yeah, but
Respecting each
no. I would agree with you if you had an irrational fear or something that really would bother you, and that's why you're asking them not to. But what if you don't share the same fear, but then you just demand that they do it anyway? That sounds like revenge.
I mean, I don't see it that way. I'm just saying she just
Why
made the point
why
of.
wouldn't it be? If you're not actually afraid of it, but if they're afraid of it and you're not, right? It'd be like this. It'd be like, I'm afraid of spiders, so you also, right? Whenever I jump around screaming when a spider comes around, you also need to jump around screaming when a spider comes around. That doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
Yep.
So it'd be the same thing applied here. If you have this great fear that your partner's going to do X thing, and so that person's going to kind of like assuage that fear. They're going to do what they can to assist you in that by showing you the respect of not making you worry yourself to death. But you don't have the fear, which is reciprocal. Then telling them not to do the thing sounds like it's revenge. Like, well, if I can't, then you can't. Like, how?
There we go.
Wouldn't that be the opposite of fairness?
Good point.
I'll move on after your answer if you have one.
I don't. I'm.
Oh, okay.
Wow, she didn't even she catched it though. I'm sorry. She did catch it. And it makes sense. If I don't go, you should not go. The thing is, the reason she don't want the husband to go because she knows the possibilities of knowing that a married husband is pre-selected and that builds attraction. She knows that. You know why? Because she feels like that. And that's why they tell men not to go to the bar. But you know what, as a man, you have to go. I don't go to the bar. Stuff like that, I think it's ridiculous, a waste of time, a waste of money. But people, they go to the bar and they allow their women to just tell them not to go, or I'm afraid I need to go back because I don't want my wife to get mad. It's you got the frames are in the wrong position. And how they call the poles, right? The poles are opposites. So it's not gonna work. As a man, you always have to maintain the frame. And you want to go to Alaska, you go to Alaska. Simple as that. Your female, your woman might feel a certain way, but you as a man, you have to just do what you need to do. Okay, and that's your mission. Remember, she was attracted to you because of that. If you lose that, then she's gonna feel resentment, and that's when the relationship goes downhill. I know it's weird because it doesn't make sense when you see it. You're like, I don't want to upset my wife. I don't want to do these things. However, guys, that's not how female nature works. That's not how female nature works. It works in a ways that the logic of men cannot comprehend by visualizing it. It has to go through a lot of turbulations to understand it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.